Hey everybody. You know what you say, Shane and Brig, but Brig is driving this one, so we'll do Brig and Shane.
I'm always driving. I should be driving right now.
Hey everybody, it's good to be here.
Brig.
I've been absent quite a bit from these, and it's nice to get back in here.
Me too.
It's nice to make eye contact with Colby. This is the one time I can do it, and
it's okay.
and just do a stare down, and I know he'll win every damn time.
Hi, Colby.
Hey, Colbster. Colby is on our phone a friend.
Yep.
You can't have a better one.
No.
The guy, it's like he has the answers just chambered,
Yep.
and they're asked right then. I don't know. You're amazing, Colby.
Oh, thanks.
All right, so we're going to be talking about Office ODT, and of course, I'm going to have to say, everybody throws out acronyms. We're talking about initialisms. Going to have a battle with you out there, Kelly.
Yeah, it's me. So, and I'm bigger. So, good luck with that.
As Adam would say, if I wasn't such a wimp, you'd be dead. If I wasn't terrified of you, ooh.
All right.
Let's do it.
Okay, we're going to just break into some news, some Office news. So everyone knows Office 2019 is actually a different product than Office 365. Microsoft wants you to go to Office 365, but for those of you in larger enterprises or even smaller organizations that have volume licensing, Office 2019 is an option to you if you've actually made that purchase.
But it's definitely for the kind of the one-offs. If you want to just go buy Office, they've been trying for years to kind of move you to the Office 365 version.
Yeah, I mean, so Mark, he's in IT here. He was able to obtain a retail copy of 2019. I don't know how he did it because I wasn't able to find one after like 20 minutes of searching, but he somehow managed to do it. So he's kind of like the Office whisperer around here. He can find things that no one else can, which is actually pretty cool. Another thing is that Office has finally migrated away from the only use the 32-bit unless you need the 64-bit to now we're defaulting to 64-bit. So they've migrated from that. Probably all of the add-ons and plugins that they've been having, or that they've needed
it was a slow burn to get those on 64-bit, but this does have some pretty big ramifications if you decide to go to 64 and you heretofore have been on the 32-bit version of Office. It's not, as far as we understand and historically proven, it's not a clean migration. It's almost a rip and replace.
Yeah, and they've actually made that easier, or relatively easy about ripping and replacing, especially MSI installed models like 2016, 2013, and things like that. So it's actually automatic and silent, which is really nice.
All right.
And so the old setup of being able to use the MSI installer to install 2019 is dead. So you used to do setup and then /admin, and then that would bring up the OCT. You'd configure that, and we have webcasts on that. That's no longer a thing. So you can't do that with 2019.
The OCT MSI. There is an OCT.
Yes.
That is. Yeah. Now it's completely redone and it's online.
Yes. In fact, actually, so Chris James and I were having a conversation about this just prior to this, that in typical Microsoft fashion, it tells you in the first paragraph, you can no longer use the OCT, and then later on it says, pro tip, use the OCT. So there's the offline OCT, which is the old version, and then there's the new one that's online. We'll go into that, but
the new hotness.
Yes, they are different. So, all right. Yes, let's do a question.
Dear Shane and Brig, why did Microsoft make this version install so difficult? My guess, this is the last local install of an Office product. Sincerely, Clifton. I have a strange hand on my shoulder. A.
Clifton, I do recall people saying that about 13 because they had introduced 365 and then 16. So there's probably going to be a last one. Yes, let's put it this way. This one is highly customizable. The 2019 is highly customizable using the OCT. Remember, there's the ODT, which is the deployment, and that's really what Office 365 does. And then there's the OCT, which is the customization, and for sysadmins that want to maintain a kind of an understandable set of installed or not installed. They don't want to deal with certain components. The OCT is a great way of customizing it. The fact that they've moved the OCT to the cloud, who knows? This may be the last local. They've been saying that for a while.
Yeah. And Clifton, really, this is actually geared towards you as well, because even though you may have a local copy, it's still not an MSI installer. So you don't even need to use the media that was given to you. In fact, I just kind of bypassed this, what Mark was able to get us, and just used the license information and just used that specifically to create what we're going to actually show you today. So you can dispense with all of the, I don't want to have to deal with all of this because I've got a setup.32 and a setup 64. What do I run and how do I? Yeah, don't worry about that. Just kind of follow along with this and you should be okay. Yeah, you just use just use the license key is all you need.
Yeah, if you have volume license, this definitely is
Yep.
you're going to want to follow along.
Oh, yeah. All right. Okay, so some differences between 365. I know we haven't shown you anything yet, but I just kind of want to get over some news. Some differences between Office 365 and Office 2019. 2019 does not come with the feature upgrades. So just like Office or Windows 10 will have the different versions, 1511, 1607, all of those, the feature upgrades. Office 2019 does not have those. So
It's a lot of companies doing this. Adobe's doing this. Adobe, it's also known as kind of the LTSB, the long-term servicing branch. When he says the feature, please remember, feature is the pronoun here. There's going to be security updates.
Oh yeah, there will be
but
updates.
they won't be introducing new features like they do in Office 365 or in the Adobe products if you use, the standard branch. That's where here's a brand new feature.
Yep.
Whereas you get this 2019, you know that you're going to be getting the security stuff, but they're not going to throw new features down your throat.
No.
Which is important for sysadmins once
It is.
again because it's you kind of like to know the pool in which you're being a lifeguard.
Yeah, because with Office 365, it's just kind of like, I guess Microsoft knows what they're doing. I guess things are upgrading. Chosen this selection. Okay, all right, we're good. Another thing is with Office 365, you can install it on up to 5 machines per user account. With Office 2019, it is 1 user, 1 machine. So you do lose that a lot. So for instance, like if you've got somebody who has a desktop, a laptop, and then they have a desktop in another office, you could install Office 365 on those
All
machines.
3 for 1 license.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas with 2019, you would need a separate license for each of those, or it would eat into your volume licensing, or KMS.
So if you're going from 365 to this, and all of a sudden you have a Microsoft true up, you could be surprised.
Yeah, like, oh my goodness, we actually owe hundreds of thousands of dollars, which would be bad. All right, let's see. There's more in the bonus content. There's actually we've included a page there that just goes over the differences, and it's one of those check marks, green. Yeah, so you can just see there the differences. All right. Should we do some configuration? Let's
Go for it.
do
So
some
let's
stuff.
actually show them something.
Yeah. Yay. All right. So the first thing, Windows documentation, again, in the bonus content is deploy Office 2019. This is really good stuff. And again, I just want to point this out. The Office customization tool that you previously used for Windows installer is no longer used. But then down here, well, let's clear that because that's bad. Tip. Use the Office customization tool. So again, 2 kind of things, but just remember that and we're going to talk about like offline and online OCT if we do make a difference there.
All right. So this is for the IT pros.
Yep, IT pros, that's us. Yeah.
Rock on.
Okay, so let's go ahead and the first thing you're going to want to do is download the ODT, which is the Office deployment tool.
Now we've already done that to save time.
Yep.
Do you want to hurry and show them the command to do that? You're going to download the setup exe and then you want to hurry and show that without running it, or no?
Yeah, well, actually, we're just going to download this really fast.
Oh, well, rock on.
It's fast.
Well, no, the setup, but I'm talking about
Oh yeah, the
the
setup.
installation files.
Yeah, so the installation files are actually all going to go into, once you just click on the executable, and then the executable is here in our downloads folder, and then what I've done is I've created a folder very quickly, in fact, should I walk them through that?
Yeah, you just don't have to commit it.
Okay, just what?
Just don't actually commit it.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and just create a folder here on the desktop, and I just want to show you what this is. This is Office 2019. Nope, I don't want to do that. We're going to do
New Office. So create a folder. Some people might want to create a share out of this. It's up to you.
That's what we're going to do. I do want to point out one thing that we see a lot of is we see people not understanding that there is a difference between share level permissions and NTFS permissions. So for instance, like on this one here with these permissions, this is fine. Do not worry. It's like, you're not going to create some sort of catastrophe with this.
As long as you have your NTFS
NTFS
permissions,
permissions.
which can be locked down a little bit more.
Yep. So these are just share level permissions. Everyone can access it, see it. And then here, then you can go into security and you can change everything that you want in there as far as NTFS
Just
goes.
make sure that whatever deploy user you're using has the necessary access. The deploy user account has the necessary access to these files.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So we're done with that. So we've downloaded that. We've
And that
extracted
downloads
it.
the setup exe.
Yep. Yeah, so basically what you're going to get at that point is when you do this, I'm just going to walk you through this. Click here.
This is what this is.
continue.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and then you can just go and choose the folder wherever it is, and then just it'll extract 4 configuration files, 2 of which are Office 365, 2 of which are for 2019 now. It used to just extract for Office 365, but obviously that's changed. So, all right, and then what we have here, so I've already done that, and then what I've done is I've taken a configuration XML, and we're going to show you how to create that here right now.
Okay.
All right, so this is the config, again, also in the bonus content. And if you go to config.office.com, it'll take you here, and then you click on Create, New Configuration. So just to kind of recap where we're at. Office Deployment Tool, it's going to give us this setup.exe, which is essential for downloading the files and actually installing the product. And now we're going to use the Office Customization Tool, the new one, not the old offline one, to actually create our XML file so that we can deploy this out.
What you're doing is creating the instructions
Yep.
on what to install, how to install it, what not to install, etc.
Yep.
It's fairly self-explanatory, but
Yeah.
it does look significantly different from the old OCT.
Yeah. In fact, as far as web pages go, it's a solid 6. All right. So the first thing you'll notice is the architecture here is now defaulting to 64-bit. You can't change that, obviously. And I'm going to show you how to do a 64 and 32-bit in tandem with deploy. Which products? You're going to select the Office product. And again, you can use the 365, your volume license here.
Visio and Project are still broken out in separate products.
Yep, still broken out there. And then you can select additional products, language packs, and access runtime. But we don't worry about that. Skype for Business, no thank you. OneNote, please.
Now, obviously, this is just Brig, I think, showing you that you don't have to take everything, but I mean, by all means, if you're using Skype for Business, don't turn it off.
Yeah. The update channel, which is pretty much basically going to be the same. And then, because there are no updates as far as features goes.
This one I like here, the latest, or depending on if you've already got some installations out there, you get to choose which long-term servicing branch you want. Important for admins if they want to stay all on the same page. But in this case, we're just going to use the latest. Right?
We're good with that. And then you can just click next through these. So the language.
Interesting that it doesn't default.
Nope, it does not default. So you do have to select this, and then it will error out if you don't. I know this because I succumbed to that error. The installation options, here you definitely want to choose a local source. So for us, it's going to be this machine, because again, we've already created this share right here, this on local disk. This is actually a network share.
Okay,
so,
Office 2019.
Yep, so I'm actually going to create that.
Okay.
So Guinness and
Office 2019.
2019, easy. And then fall back to the CDN for missing languages. So that just means that if you've selected more than one language to install on this, it's going to just choose that from the content delivery network that Microsoft has set up for Office.
Perfect.
We do not want to show the installation for the user. Again, silence is golden, so we're going to do that.
Silence is golden.
All right, and then pinging icons to the taskbar. This is a nod to the fact that
Right now,
administrators
Chris is doing a backflip.
Yes. Wait, we
This
can
is-
have control now? Yes.
This has been something that people have asked forever. Why can't I pin these to the taskbar?
Exactly. All right, and then we actually want to do logging too. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to call this, I've already created this directory, logs directory in here. I manually did that.
I'm going to make one. Brig is going to show you a little bit later just how you can have this file and then you can copy it and just make some very small changes without having to go through all of this again.
Yeah.
You probably want to have your logging initially when you're doing your test, your proof of concept. I'm going to push this out to accounting or something. Once you feel like you've got your deployment dialed in, you can go ahead and disable the logging so that you're not creating a bunch of noise somewhere.
Yep.
But while you're first doing this, if something fails, it'd be kind of nice to have a little hint.
Yeah. Yep.
As
it
to
is,
why.
and it does help because trust me, in testing this, I was not always successful, and I was like, why am I not successful? Oh, that's why. So I do like logging. All right, and then automatically check for updates. Yep. And then
Remove Visio. Now we said not to include Visio or
Yep.
project. So if you did select this, it would remove the old version.
Yes.
Just keep that in mind.
Now, here's the really important thing. Let's say you've got a bunch of people out there with 2016 on there, and we're going to kind of go over this in a little bit. But if you've got 2016, 2013, and they were installed with the MSI version, this here will uninstall that. So if you do want those uninstallations to happen, and they do happen silently, and it's really nice, we'll just keep that on, and you can turn it off per product. But yeah, this is a really good feature that they've actually improved on significantly. All right, and then again, 6 out of 10. General, organization name, stuff like that. And
This is where, if you have the volume licensing, you're going to want to put your the information that
yeah.
for your organization.
Yep.
So.
Now here, if you remember the old OCT with the MSI,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you had that. You could go into Excel, and basically it was kind of like almost like GP Edit. You could go in there and you could do all of this stuff. Now it's changed with this. You have this web page, and it's tag based. So if you click on Excel, you will notice now that you have Excel options and you have an X to get back.
Yeah, the X doesn't mean uninstall it. The
No.
X is, if you remember the old tree view,
Yes.
the X is going up.
Yes.
We're going to go ahead and just change the primer, the scientific primer, for what everything is based on. Anyway.
What they did is they gave this to Bob. Bob is about probably 67, 68 years old. He remembers like
X marks the spot. I
Yeah,
don't know.
fondly remembers like Windows 3.1 or 3, even predates that, and just this is like his thing. I love DAG so much. But anyway, that's my assumption anyway. So you can go in here and change all kinds of things. I'm not going to do this on the web browser here because of space, but when you click on things, it will open up a left hand or a right hand side thing, allow you to do options. There's really not a very good way of undoing though, so just be cautious because otherwise you'll have to start over again.
So once again, clicking the X on that Excel does not mean you're not installing Excel.
No.
It just takes you up a level.
Yeah, it goes up to yeah. So
Keeping us on our toes.
Yep, and then you can finish. Yay! So everything's finished. I'm going to scroll up again, and then I'm going to export that.
Yep, so we're going to export this. This is important. Now, what file do you want to call it? I would call it something fairly easy.
Yeah, I'm just going to. It defaults to configuration, and the only difference that I did was to change it to x64 and x86, because the only difference that I made when I created these two was to select the different bitness. So, because obviously I'm not going to install a 64-bit Office on a 32-bit machine. That's not going to work. So I'm going to accept this. I'm going to export that.
All right.
And then it saves it here. And then I kind of want to show you what this looks like. Oh, Explorer's already going to do that for me.
Well, you clicked on it. Did you want to ask a question while he's doing this?
Yeah.
JJ, did you want to ask a question?
Dear Shane and Brig, do I need to redeploy Office 2019 C2R every month or every 6 months to keep up with the patches? Sincerely, our good friend, Billy Z.
Good
news.
Click to run.
Yeah. Nope. You don't need to. It will automatically do that. Boop. Yeah. It's you could select. There is an update option in there, but it's really limited. There's no feature, so it's basically the same way that Office patches happened previously. If you have Office installed, it'll go out to the catalog, say there's updates, and then you would update. But there's obviously no feature updates, but there are security updates and patches.
But the answer is no. You don't need to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to create a new baseline install of Office 2019 in 6 months after they've had some, a bunch of security patches, you could always, I suppose, do that.
Yeah.
But it's not required.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, because you just download source. In fact, actually, now that they've got this click to run, it is completely possible to just set up an automated task within Deploy that would download the source automatically, just using the setup.exe/download switch. And so you could actually keep your source up to date. You could do that on a daily basis if you wanted to.
That's probably going to be a good little blog post.
Yeah.
All right, so here we've got our XML file.
Yep. So you can see that we've chosen not to go with Groove, Link, or OneDrive. So we've got the exclude apps here.
I like how they still refer to Skype for Business as Link.
Yes, it's still Link. Yep. And in fact, I think it's link.exe still.
It probably
Yeah.
is.
All right, and then you'll notice here that here's our PID key. Just kidding. That's what everybody gets. Don't think that this is like, oh, look at we
just saw PDQs.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
If you trust
We
me,
just saw their underwear.
yeah, that PID key. That's
Well,
going to be
we
the
don't
same
wear
thing that you
underwear,
get.
so
Yeah.
joke's on you. Unfurnished basement all around.
Is that what it's called, unfinished basement?
I got that from Bart Simpson.
I like that.
I don't have any original thoughts of my own.
All right, and then we're doing shared computer licensing, which is a value of 0. If you know what that means, then it's important. If you don't know what it means, it's not important to you. All right, and then the other thing is we want display level to be none and except EULA actually should be true. So
Yeah.
we're going to change that right now.
Yeah, we didn't change that before. Yeah, except the EULA, definitely. But it's very important to have that display level set to none.
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing that makes it silent. So again, I've already done this, so I'm not going to. This is not something we're going to use. It's just a test.
Go ahead and say it or close it, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now that we have that is now our configuration. So now we're going to go back to where with the ODT, I've extracted the files that have come in there, the configuration XML files, which I'm not actually going to use because I'm going to use the OCT. So what I have here is I've got a configuration XML file that I've already created. So again, it's got the same information in it. And again, there's that PID that's the same. We've got that display level none and except EULA is true. That was interesting. Okay, so
Just close it.
yep, just close that. Now what I have done, I went back into the configuration tool and I changed one thing and then I exported that file. So I've actually got two configurations, but I created this other directory called x86. And the only thing that I've done is I've copied the setup.exe file and put that in here. It's the same everything. And then I just created that configuration XML file for x86, put that in here. And then I did the same exact command, and we're just gonna
Show them.
Yep,
Let's do it.
yep. Exactly what I did.
Yeah, because this is fairly important. Like you won't be able to go anywhere without typing this. We've already done it, but go ahead.
Yep. So-
CED, you have the CED.
Oh, CED. Oh yeah. By the way, terrible type person, and plus I don't know who switched keyboards on me, but it's terrible, Colby. Just to point out to you, this should be replaced.
So here we've got our Here
All right.
we're running this from our deploy machine in this
Oh,
case.
that doesn't work.
LS.
Old habits die.
I know, old habits, man. All right, so yeah, we've got our setup.exe. So to download, you're just going to run setup, and then you're going to do download. It's going to download the source, and then you're going to just do.
You choose the configuration file.
Yep, that's it. Now I'm going to hit enter, and that's going to create the Office directory in here. I'm not obviously not going to run it now because I've already done that. So
Yeah.
it's going to create the Office directory.
This will take a while depending on your internet connection, but this is effectively downloading the source files, right?
Yep. Yeah. What size do we have on there? I think I just showed it, but I just want to check. Yeah. Oh, actually, it's smaller than it used to be. So it's 1.8. Now I've done that for the Office, which my 64-bit Office, which is in the root of this Office 2019, and then I've also done it in this directory. So I have actually downloaded both versions of Office because it's based on that configuration XML. So this is the 32-bit version of Office that we're going to install. This is the 64-bit version of Office that we're going to install.
Okay.
So that's clear?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
good.
cool. All right. And so once I've done that, this will take a while, and then once you get to a command prompt, you know it's done. So do we want to do a question, or do we want to start with a deploy? What do we want to do?
What do you got, DJ?
Okay.
Dear Shane and Brig, can you reuse the Office 2016 config file with the Office 2019 installer? Thanks, Kyle B.
I mean, they actually at first sight they look quite similar. If you're going to do that, I would still at least look at the template for 2019 and then compare them. But in the time it takes you to do the compare, you could just run this honestly. But if you want, if you have a fairly involved one, just make sure that by doing the quick compare of excluding options and the PID key, etc. Just make sure that they're copacetic.
Yeah. There have been some changes, and they're actually pretty good. So if you go to the documentation, the official documentation here, they do go into a little bit of the XML. Like, for instance, you've got different product IDs now than Office 365. You want to go into that. There's a much more detailed version of this where it's several pages long where it goes into each option and just see and compare, especially if you've got a lot of customization that's going on. You might want to.
Probably want to just create a new one. But.
Yep.
All right, so we're here. We downloaded our source files.
Yep.
We configured the deployment using the OCT online.
Yep.
So now we've got to get this out to our
Yeah, we got to get this out to our machines. All right, so I've obviously already created a package, but I'm going to just show you how to do this.
That sounds good. Well, do you want to do a deployment of our while you show this? Do you want to kick off?
Oh, that's a really good idea. Yep. So this is chicken egg time. All right.
No,
yes.
because it takes some time. It's kind of a gamble that it may not even be finished by the time you finish showing it, but you may as well kick it off.
Usually only takes like 2 or 3 minutes now.
Okay.
Yeah. I did some optimization. I'm kidding. I didn't do anything. All right. Let's see. We're going to choose targets, PDQ inventory. Let's see. We did online last time. Let's do ones that don't have any Office installed on them at all. So, because I think everything's pretty much
There's
online.
Microsoft Office right there.
Yep. So we'll do.
If you want to type, do we have one that doesn't show any Office? I don't think you have them built.
Oh, you know what I want to do? I actually want to do one that has like Office 2016 installed because I want to show people like how it uninstalls.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So here's what I want to do. Okay. So these machines have Office 2016 installed so that they've got the old MSI installer. So let's go ahead and do one to Noob. And then let's do, oh yeah, I want to show you what happens with Office 365 because that's kind of important. So let's Crucibot. And then let's just do one that doesn't have anything. So we'll go to all computers. And then I think Beth is probably a good one, right?
Well, we have a cheat sheet. Let's go ahead and choose Beth, but let's go out and look at inventory real quick.
Okay, all right. Inventory. All right. Nope. No Beth. Yeah. All right, so we're set. Okay, so Beth.
So we got, Crucibot has 365, Noob has 16, right? All right.
Yeah, what about Tiny Rook?
A great episode of Rick and Morty.
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about the actual computer?
Oh, look at that. We don't have information. We may fail on that one too.
All right.
Good. I like failure. I'm really good at it.
Good. That's good. Otherwise, your life would suck.
Yes, it would.
Your quality of life would suck.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and use an inventory scan user on this one just to be safe.
right.
It's just a normal default for me.
Now, did you want to do anything about? Well, you'll go into this in building the package about you're pretty adamant on the interactive, but go ahead.
Yep. All right. Okay. So I'm going to build a package really fast. I'm not going to go into everything about the nesting packages. Well, actually, I am.
Go for it.
How much time do we have? We're over. Okay. Here we go. I'm just
So
going
we kicked off what was already built, but now we're going to just show you the steps that Brig took to get to where
Yep.
we were.
So conditions, everything's fine here. We're just going to leave it as is. Step, I'm going to do a nested package on this one. What I want to do is I want to uninstall Office 365 first. Oh, actually, that's going to work on those because, never mind.
We do have some uninstall in the package library. We have some uninstall offices,
Yep.
by version, and even a main overall uninstall office.
Yeah.
That you can grab.
And Chris James has verified that our uninstall Office package, just the blank uninstall Office, will uninstall 2019. He said he tested that this morning. And so, thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, and then so that's my step one. I'm going to do an install step. And then I'm going to, my install file is going to be, and it's going to be a network share. Make sure that it's a network share because everything's going to be pulling from that. So, Guinness, and then Office 2019 / setup.exe. So there's that setup.exe again. And then because
Parameters are massively important in this one.
Yep. 2019.
As in most. So
And
here you're just giving it the name. This is a 64-bit
Yeah, this is
version.
the 64-bit install. So, and then are you forgetting a silent parameters? Yes. So this is another important part. You want to do configure, and then you want to do your configuration.
Whatever file you have in that same directory.
Yep.
In this case, it's called configuration x64.xml.
Yep.
And then we're not going to grab all the files. We're not going to click that include entire directory, right?
Nope. But we just want, all we need is just that additional file just to say, hey, we want this configuration x64.xml file.
There is a file picker, but
I know.
You're into the typing.
I know. Well, I check it, and there I go, and I'm like, okay, it's there. And then sometimes I'll even do that and just say, okay, I'm done.
So this is important. If you don't, because we're not doing the include entire directory because it's going to pull down anyway for each computer, just make sure you include this additional file. Otherwise, it's just going to kind of hang there.
Yeah.
It's going to say, okay, you told me
Yeah.
to run silently, but I don't have any instructions, so I'm just going to stay running.
Yeah, super, super important because I've done that before. All right, and then we're just going to duplicate this one, and we're going to make this 486. Do that.
You're going to change the condition?
Yep. Oh yeah, that's right. We haven't set conditions yet. Thanks for reminding me.
Mm-hmm. So on this, so here you're going to change that to...
Yep. So going to do that other directory where we created the x86 directory. So
but is it still called 64? You got an error
yep.
there.
I know I could do the file picker.
It's all right.
I know. I see you give me that sidelong
okay.
glance.
So change the condition on each of these. You don't
Yep.
want this in this case. We only want the 32-bit run on a 32-bit OS.
Yep.
And
Now we're going to do 64-bit. The other thing that we want to change is the deploy user on this one. Deploy user interactive. Now we've said this about Office 365 and we've said this about AutoCAD. Super important. Even though it's not really interactive, the end user will not see anything. Sometimes.
So based off your history,
Yeah.
you've seen some failures that were that were fixed by just changing it to deploy user interactive. Do you want to change that on x86 as
Oh
well?
yeah, I'm going to change that too. So, right, make sure the conditions. Yep, 32-bit, 64-bit, great. We're going to save that. So that's our file. So now it's going to the first step here. It's going to uninstall Office 365 as if it's installed. I don't know why you would do that, but you can. And then install the 64-bit version on 64-bit machines and 32-bit on 32-bit.
And then I'm gonna throw one at you. People are gonna say, listen, I just want to make sure, even if this inadvertently goes out to a server, that nothing gets installed on a server. How can you make that change in one step to say no servers can be installed here? Where would you go?
Oh, I hate it when you
How
do
about
pop
properties?
quizzes.
Remember, we introduced properties.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So conditions that are at the package level.
Yep.
Meaning, if it does not pass the conditions here, it will not bother running any of the other steps. So here you can just turn off servers, and why not Vista? Ha! By turning those off, it will only run on those the entire package. It won't even process the other steps.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
There you go.
Whew, good. Glad I failed on that too. All right. So
just keeping the streak alive.
no, that's good. They're keeping the streak alive.
All right. So what you've seen us do is create what we had already deployed. So want to go check those deployments?
Yeah. So where are we
Let's
at?
just go to all deployments since we've got an uninstall going, and there we go. Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and take a question while we're digging.
Yep.
Dear Shane and Brig, how can I upgrade from Office 2016 to 2019 with the ODT and PDQ Deploy? Sincerely, RF.
Oh, RF. So just as we kind of explained just a little bit ago, you can actually uninstall 2016 and then 2019 will be installed over it. So that's very convenient. They made it very quiet. I tested this extensively yesterday. It works great, fantastic at removing that. So I'm actually pretty pleased.
You're pretty confident?
Yeah, pretty confident in that. I tested this on several machines that had 2016 installed. I had done fresh installs of 2016 and then uninstalled it. I had done upgrades.
But they have that feature in the OCT to say, do you want to uninstall the previous versions? So you could do that. Or once again, we also have that package, those packages out there for uninstalling Office.
Yep.
And you can download those from the package library and then just have a nested package. That's step one.
Yeah, like I did with Office 365. So yeah, just choose whichever you want. I had perfect luck with just the XML that did the uninstall.
So we were expecting some failures here.
We sure did. Yeah, so we were accepting, so we got 2 successfuls. Now, just to let you know, Crucibot and NoobNoob both had 2016 installed. So just letting you know, that does work. The 2 failed here should have had
It was...
Yep.
Was it Beth that had a... Scroll back to the beginning. To the names. Yeah,
Yep,
Beth.
Beth.
So Beth had 365.
Yep, had 365 installed. Now, I did have 365 set to uninstall on that one, but this did occur. So if sometimes that machine will require a reboot. So if you have the uninstall 365,
I was waiting for that one.
Yep. There was several times where it succeeded without a reboot. There were instances like with Beth where it did not. So if you get that 1603 error, one of 2 things occurred. Either it already has an Office product installed, whether it's Visio or Project or Office itself, 365, or it has uninstalled that Office 365
and needs a reboot.
Yeah, it needs a reboot. So just be aware that if you get that 1603, don't go, what's going on? It's usually one of those 2 things. If it's not one of those 2 things, then you're going to need to do some digging, and that's where the logging comes in.
But the logging comes in. But I will say this: if you're planning on doing this after hours anyway, it's a fairly big install. Throw some reboots in there. You can throw an uninstall step and then a reboot step, and then install Office, and then if you want, do a reboot after that.
Yep.
So that I remember back in 2013 when that 2013 came out. There were a handful of times if you did not reboot after 2013, at some point when the person was using their first Office product, like Word, it would blue screen.
Yeah.
And that was all because it really needed a reboot.
It really needed one.
So you've got those options. But look at these awesome log files.
Yep. And you know what? I've never actually opened one of these, so this will be nice.
I think we just chipped away at the whole failure.
Hey! It's usually because I do trial and error. All right. So look at this. Lots of stuff. And then they're really that's just
you're gonna find knowledge base articles probably from Microsoft on this.
On this. So it's just this is just information.
Let's read every word of this.
Liblet. Oh, I love that. The logging liblet has an initializing. I love that. Okay, anyway, sorry.
Riblet. All right.
Liblet. Anyway, that's a great word.
It's a contraction of the library. And
I know.
Like applet.
I know.
All
It's,
right.
but it's still
adorable.
cute.
You're
It's
adorable.
still
Okay.
cute. All right. So let's see. Have we covered everything? So we've successfully shown.
Well, let's go look
Oh,
at inventory real quick and see
Yes.
if it shows that they've been upgraded.
Yeah. Oh, I know. There's some exciting things. So Chris James also created created a report, created a scanner, and created some collections. So, and then we're going to post this in a blog article. But the important thing about this is that you can now detect the bitness of the Office products based on any click to run. So 2019 Office 365, we can now do that. He was like, can we do
It
that?
used to be that you could only do it if you had Outlook installed.
Yep.
Because Outlook was the only thing that had the bitness. Yeah.
And now it's different. So we do have, you'll see here, we have click to run 32-bit and we have 64-bit, and that is now accurate. So we have these Office 365s here, and we'll get 2019 as well.
Yeah, we'll need make a note for the next version of inventory. We need to add that. But in the collection library, you can also go to the collection library. We can add that as soon as possible.
Yeah, we'll do that. And then, so we've got these two that show that. If we want to show, a report, we've got the bitness, and then it'll show there and which of their bitness is. And then the nice thing about that is that it's all set to a scanner. So where's the scan
Options.
profile?
Scan. There you go.
I know, top thing.
Top thing.
They changed things on me. It's just this registry scanner here that he created. And
This is in bonus content?
No, it'll be on the, what we are going to have is blog.
Okay.
Thank you. Yep, so it's just a registry scanner, and from that you can pull reports and do those collections.
Awesome.
So, all right, what did you want to say?
Well, so we said which ones succeeded? That we were, let's see, we got...
Crucibot.
Let's just open up Crucibot real quick.
Yep.
Let's type in Crucibot, or see enough to get there.
Yeah.
And we'll just, once again, just take a quick peek at the applications. And we're saying that there it is right there, Office Professional 2019.
Yep.
All right.
Just successfully installed, and Crucibot did have 2016 installed on it previously, so it was a very quiet, seamless uninstallation.
Still, I mean, just as, I'm not saying that this is how it is in 2019. I've been using Office since, the mid-90s.
Yeah.
I can say this, it's best practice after you install this to do a reboot, at least at some point. Especially if you're doing an upgrade, there's plenty of files that might have a lock on them and are set to be renamed and upgraded after a reboot. So just keep that in mind. You might have all the success in the world and they've addressed these issues, but prepare that if you start seeing errors through your end users with Microsoft Office, it might just simply be a reboot. And you might, if you see that, consider adding a reboot into your PDQ Deploy package.
Yep.
Any other questions that we have? We have a speed round.
Let's open up the speed round. Is there a way to confirm uninstall of previous versions of Office before deploying Office 2019-2016 using Deploy? Thanks, Dan S.
Collections.
Collections.
Yes.
If
If you do a scan.
Yeah, so
Scan.
right now we've introduced, there is a scan step,
Yes.
right? So so let's say that you uninstall, and then maybe you want to do a reboot just to make sure. But either way, after that uninstall, you can do a scan, and that scan in fact, do a custom scan. Just say only scan for applications. Don't scan for everything else. Scan for applications in this particular scan profile, and then in the next step. So let's just. Do you mind if I come over here?
Oh.
Let's just do this. To answer your question, I know the speed round. Go here. I'll uninstall. We're going to add a new step called scan. Boom. And in the scan, we're just going to always run, but we're going to use applications scan profile. And then you could actually have a condition in here as well to say only install this if it's in a collection that says no Office. You have to create a no Office collection.
Yep.
But that's the way to do that.
Or you could actually do, I think if you do, click on conditions just for a second. Yeah, if you do...
He's not a member.
Yeah, it's not a member of like any of the Office collections.
Okay.
You could do it that way too.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
You can either do negative or positive, however, whatever's
Yeah.
convenient.
So in this case, you could just say type in Office real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Office Suites, but if you go to if you just select that top level Microsoft Office, that should work for you. If, as long as it's not a member of this, it should be good. But you want to have a scan step before that.
Yep.
Okay, next question.
Dear Shane and Brig, how does Office 365 Pro Plus relate to Office 2019? Our new license requires us to install Office 365 Pro Plus versus the old style 2019. They said we could keep 2016-2019 installed and still be legal, but recommended uninstalling those and installing 365 Pro Plus. Thanks, Jason L.
Jason, this is kind of choose your own adventure. You can either keep the old ones, like they said, or you can go to the new 365. I would recommend going to the 365 Pro Plus unless you have requirements that require you to have like a specific version, and it needs to be. It's a lot like 2019 is a lot like LTSB.
Yeah, and Microsoft has been trying to move people to 365. So the context of your question is that's missing. I'd say is needed a little bit more information on your environment and the fact that your Microsoft rep might be saying, you guys really just want Office 365. But that it could also be more of their canned answer. Just try to go there.
The nice thing about this is that this process that we've gone through today is the same for 365 as it is for 2019, with some subtle differences. But
Like the OCT.
Yeah, well, you can use the OCT with 365
For the
now.
most part, people just use the ODT.
Yeah, I mean,
Kind of, there's not as many options.
no,
Anyway,
no with the
go
ODT.
ahead.
Hey Shane and Brig, can we use a newly made MST to change the license from a MAK key to a KMS after the installation is made the same way we install and uninstall components?
Interesting.
Thanks, Jason A.
Hey, Jason, I have never done that. I've never ever had to change the license from a MAK to a KMS. Have you?
No.
Or vice versa.
No.
It's interesting that you would that your environment would change whether it's MAK or KMS, but I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, I'm going to go with I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on whether they want to do that. So licensing and activation here, can do a KMS or you can do the MAK key, and you can do auto activate. Oh, that's the word.
That's
it
where you
usually
can
is.
do that,
Yep.
yeah.
So you can. It would seem.
Test it out.
Yep.
Create a new XML file, even copy. Copy and then make the edits and then try it and see what errors you get. Make sure you're doing logging. You might get some saying, no, this can't happen. It's like trying to upgrade a 32-bit Office to a 64-bit Office. You'll probably get some problems there.
Yeah, because the install files would be the same. The only difference would be just the activation on that would be the XML file. So
Maybe.
yeah,
Could even be a registry key.
yeah, it could be a register key. So yeah, just test it out. You'll know really fast.
But that would definitely be more of an outlier.
Yep.
I can't see too many organizations changing from MAK to KMS or back and forth.
Hey Shane and Brig, is there a limit to how many Office licenses can be activated per email address? I've heard 25 was the max. Seems like Microsoft wants to make life more difficult for those who support their products. Sincerely, BN.
I don't understand Office licenses that can be activated
Per email address. I mean, per email address, 25 does seem to be pretty high, actually, per email address. And you're talking about probably from Office 365 is what I'm assuming?
Yeah, Office 365 is 5. If you're talking about like volume licensing, that's just going to be handled by the actual the
computer.
VLSC, yeah. So I'm not sure.
I don't know. That would be, honestly, that would be, I'm sorry, I hate to say this, that'd definitely be a question for Microsoft.
Yeah.
Or somebody that handles that understands Microsoft licensing.
Yep, I've never run into that.
Dear Shane and Brig, is there a way to delete any Office product shortcuts that users might have on desktops or start menus? Thanks, Valerie B.
Hey, Valerie.
It's Valerie. Hi, Valerie.
If you do, and you want to do it from PDQ Deploy, you're probably gonna want to run this deployment as the logged on user, assuming that user is in fact logged on. You might want to attack this from a user level GPO, and there's going to be some trial and error there. Do you want to say anything, Colby?
As Chris would say, you can do it with PowerShell.
Of course,
Yeah.
you absolutely do PowerShell.
Yep. Aren't they all LNK files as well, Colby? All shortcuts on the desktop?
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah. So you just you'd have to know the name of them.
Or you could do like wildcards, just like look for something with Office in it or something like that.
Or Excel, like EXE, something like that. But what if you had like excellent?
I know it's kind of an unsatisfying answer, Valerie, so you
Yeah.
can script it, but it's not something that we do. In fact, I don't even think it's native in GPO. You'd still probably have to resort to, at some point to a script.
And our final question of the day, is Office 2019 supported in WSUS? Sincerely, Dietrich K.
It is now. I don't know how long ago, but yeah, I do know that it is now.
I'd be surprised if they ever didn't offer that as they were. I can see a lag time releasing a new product.
There was a lag time,
but I can't see them saying, we're not gonna do that.
yeah, no more WSUS for you, your Office products.
Yeah,
I
so
know.
the answer is yes, but there was a little lag time.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Hey, thanks, Brig.
Yeah. Thank you, Shane. It's been great.
A lot of digging around.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, we've got a blog forthcoming, right? So blog forthcoming. Check out our previous material. Check out the bonus content, definitely.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, by all means, shoot Solutions, our support team, a message.
Yep.
All right, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
I'm Shane.
And I'm Brig.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Congratulations, Kyle B. and Clifton A. Winners of PDQ swag. Send us your info at webcast@pdq.com. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to our support forums. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you back here next week.